Hello students, Jai Swaminarayan. This is Professor Urvish Mewada, HOD Electrical Department, Sri Swaminarayan Institute of Technology, Bhat, Gandhinagar. I am the subject matter of Interconnected Power System, which is in the 7th semester, and the GTU subject code of this subject is 2170901. This is the fourth lecture of Interconnected Power System, chapter number 1. In previous lecture, we studied about cascade tripping or blackout and black start. Now, this is the fourth lecture for the chapter number 1 interconnected power system. The topic number 5 is islanding. Now, before we study the islanding, we need to find out the causes of islanding. So whenever the sudden tripping of major transmission lines, then interconnecting transformers and major generating stations happens, so at that time the system means the system get disturbed, and due to various factors due to this various factors, we need to isolate the system from the faulty part or from this event. Now during the severe disturbance, the system may split up into the part system. Now this due to this cause, uh, this may or not may service depending upon the load generation balance in separate part. So whenever the islanding occur, at that time the separated part uh, may or may not be solve that load which is connected to the system, because this system was connected before the islanding with the grid and with the interconnected power system. So due to an advantage of interconnected power system, the faulty part uh, uh, can be maintain the demand and generation ratio. And whenever any such kind of problem occur, at that time the system may get isolated, and at that time the uh, the local generating station has to maintain the load generation demand. Now rather than losing the entire grid and face complete blackout in the event of this severe such disturbances, so due to this attempts are to be made to ensure survival of the parts. Means rather to shut down that part, just remove that part from the grid, and then after some attempts are made to maintain to uh, to to stay it, means to keep it surviving. And after that, so that the grid subsequent reconnection and revival of the part of the entire grid to be quicker and easier. Because see, whenever the islanding occur, at that time we are not shutting down the generating station. We are just isolating the faulty parts from the disturbances. And if such disturbance remains for long time, then it can harm the whole system and complete blackout can occur. So rather to survive from the complete blackout, we just isolate the system from the this heavy fluctuation and heavy disturbances. And we are keeping that system, means we are not shutting down that system, and we are keeping that system means stable, or we can say islanded from the grid. And uh, we made some attempts to ensure the survival of the parts. So uh, reconnection of that faulty parts, or that area may be may become quicker and easier, because this system is not shut down, and after survival we can reconnect that system to the grid for for to meet the load and generation, means generation and demand ratio. Now the part of power system containing the generating source and certain loads which are generally planned to be separated from the main grid at the time of islanding, and this can be done with the help of under frequency or directional power relay. So why this two relays are used? Under frequency means whenever the heavy fluctuations occur, at that time current demand will drastically increase, and as the current demand drastically increase, terminal voltage, or we can say line voltage, will get drastically reduced, and so that the frequency will also drastically reduce, and so that at that time if the under frequency relay is connected with the system, so that frequency under frequency relay will give the signal to the breaker, and we can isolate our system from the heavy fluctuations. And directional power relay also supports whenever the power means reverse in the system. At that time directional relay will operate, and we can save entire system, and the separation of the system with the help of under frequency and directional relay are called the islanding, or we can say island. Means we are keeping the system on, but we are just saving our system from the heavy fluctuations. Now the main basic idea of islanding is to localize the disturbance. Localize the disturbance means if the disturbance occur in our system, so that disturbance can harm the entire system. So rather to disturb entire system, we just isolate our voltage system from the grid, or from the we can say interconnected power system, so that we can protect whole system from the blackout. Now to the disturbance is to extend the possible and save many generating station units, as I explained, as possible from the tripping. Means as I explained in the previous lecture, that the cascade tripping happens due to the transferring of load. So whenever such disturbances occur, that will transfer the generation and demand responsibility to the next generating station, and so that the transferring of load is remain means one by one simultaneously all the generating stations will transfer the load, and due to that cascade tripping occur, and it may get complete blackout. So whenever such situation occur, at that time these two relays are connected for the protection purpose, and due to the operation of this relays, we can island our system from the grid, and we can save entire grid from the blackout. Now island is so formed after a major disturbance. To survive means it should have a load generation balance in the area, in its area. Means whenever the islanding we create the islanding of the generating stations, means our local generating stations, that generating stations should meet the load generation demand, because it is islanded, it is not shut it down, because consumers are, and load is still connected with the system, and system needs to maintain or balance the load demand ratio. Now it would therefore be necessary to integrate other defense plant, means auxiliary plants. Means all generating stations has its own auxiliary plants, say DG set system, and like automatic under frequency load schemes with islanding scheme. Means we can use DG set system or any other schemes to maintain the generation and demand ratio, and the islanding scheme could be so convinced that would be able to save major cities during the grid disturbance. Means whenever such grid disturbance occur, so that will transfer the loads to the next consequent grid, or next consequent generating stations. So due to that, all the generating stations substations which are connected with the interconnected power system will get loaded and overloaded, and due to that overloaded, it may cause the cascade tripping or blackout in entire system. So the grid islanding scheme is mentioned over here. So first of all, how this will this phenomena will we can say uh, we uh, we separate the system from the grid. So this is the steps which will which will be follow by the system at the time of islanding. So uh, it is a set of protective relays, means all the protective relays are connected with the system for the incomer bus. So this is the utility system transformer, and after transformer we have the bus bar, we have the three lines on which we are transferring the load, and with this three line circuit breakers are connected, and with the circuit breakers these are the loads which are connected. One line is again connected with the load and DJ set system. Now first of all, relays will sense the disturbance, and that's if any disturbance sensed by the relay, it gives the tripping command to the circuit breaker, and circuit breaker will get operated, and we can save the utility from the large disturbances. So whenever the grid disturbance exceeds at a set limit, means in the relay setting we already means we preset the disturbance limit, and if that if the disturbance cross that limits, then or reaches that limit, then relays will get operated, and that will give signal to the circuit breaker, and circuit breaker will save the entire system from the disturbance. So by operating the breaker, the plant is isolated from the grid. Now the plant as well as the DG is disconnected from the distributed grid by the grid islanding scheme. This is the grid islanding scheme. Now here you can see that the DG is connected. If the circuit breaker operates, then this whole line will get isolated, and DG is still connected with the line. But to protect the DG from this large disturbances, we need to isolate DG also. The process of disconnecting the DG from the grid is called islanding. Now uh, this process is called grid islanding. So this three lines are indicating that these are the line on which we have connected the load, and this is the utility scheme. And to protect this utility scheme, here circuit breakers are connected, and the circuit breakers once get operated, this whole system will get isolated from the from the interconnected power system. So that this whole isolation scheme is called grid islanding scheme. Now this DG can create its own island and synchronize the utility. So whenever such disturbance occur, here we have the utility of circuit breaker and all. So this DG can survive, or DG can give that the generated power to this load at the time of fluctuations. And this area is called local area. So this DG will means deliver the power to the load whenever the circuit breaker operates, and this whole system will get isolated. At that time, this DG will give the supply to this local area. Now generally, what are the needs of islanding? So here needs of islanding is mentioned. So in our country, generally due to several reasons, like fluctuations in the grid is not stable, means always fluctuating due to the voltage and frequency. As I explained you, whenever sudden load demand will increase, means sudden current demand will increase. If current will increase in the grid or line, so voltage will get reduced, and this due to this the frequency will also get reduced. So in the event of blackout, or we can say major maintenance power grid is fully energized, power grid is fully unenergized. So at the time of maintenance, we need to unenergize the whole system. And if any fluctuations or any other contingency occur at that time also, we need to unenergize the line, or we need to separate the line from the disturbance. So it is disconnected from the power generating stations as well as from other grid also. So using grid islanding schemes that we already discussed in the previous slide. So generally, uh, in this system is generally this system is disconnected from the power generating stations. Means the load demand area will get disconnected from the power generating stations as well as the from the grid also. So if it is isolated from the grid, so it needs an auxiliary supply to for the survival. So this it is advisable to disconnect the distributed generator also, DG. Means generally DGs are remain DGs are remain in the system whenever the system is in the healthy condition. But whenever any fluctuations occur, and if system will get isolated, DG automatically comes under the picture, and it will drive the load which is connected to that line. So but whenever such kind of islanding or any grid fluctuation is occur, at that time it is advisable to disconnect the DG also. And DG, a solar panel and cogeneration power plants like biogas or any external source are or electrical power from the grid. And when the grid is disturbed, at that time we need to check this thing, whether this small generating stations and small power serving devices are connected or not. So it is advisable to disconnect at the time of heavy fluctuation or the time of islanding. So the main reason is that DG may get spoiled due to the grid disturbance, because it is continuously connected in the grid. So that results heavy repair cost and shutdown. Means whenever we require the DG set system, we cannot use that DG, because DG, if we keep DG continuously connected to the line, then line fluctuation can permanently harm the machine. So heavy repair cost and shutdowns we have to face, because if the DG is connected with that line, means faulty line or fluctuating line, that can harm the DG set. So it is very necessary to protect the DG from the grid disturbances also. And it is also better to disconnect the DG from the grid whenever the grid fails. So whenever the grid fluctuation is occur or grid fails, at that time we need to disconnect the DG system, because DG performance of DG can be means can be changed or means disturbed with the help of large fluctuations in the grid. So a DG set owner may decide to connect his DG to the local electricity grid supply, and DG will be synchronized to the grid. Means whenever any islanding or any blackout or any tripping happens, at that time, first of all, DG will drive the load and bring all the whole system at the synchronism. Means whatever the grid frequency and whatever the grid voltage, according to the grid voltage and frequency, we need to if we need to connect our grid system with that if we need to connect our local generating stations with station with the grid, we need to satisfy the condition of the synchronism. So at that time, DG will help to maintain the synchronism, or to help the generating station uh, to reach at the synchronism. So load of the plant fed by the both DG and grid, because now if the synchronism is proper between the local generating stations and the grid, now we can connect the DG sets, sorry, we connect the faulty part or the local generating station with the grid. So at that time, the load of the plant means fed by the DG and grid, means grid will helps to drive the load which are connected with the line. Now ideal procedure to restore the grid means, whenever the fault occurs, at that time, suppose we perform the islanding, after islanding it was it is very difficult to maintain the generation and demand ratio. So whenever the faults, or we can say the problems resolved, we need to connect that local generating stations with the grid to make our system reliable and efficient. So these are the steps which we need to follow during the restoration of the grid. It is nothing but the connection, or connecting grid to the connecting the local generating station to the grid, and means it is called the reclosing. Now it can be effectively carried out by the grid islanding scheme. So first of all, the first step is protective relay. The protective relay senses the disturbance in the grid. Now once disturbance is sensed by the protective relay, the relay will give the tripping command to the breaker, and once breaker will get operated, whenever the disturbance exceed to the set limit, and breaker operates, at that time opening of the incomer breaker, and at that time the plant or the system will get isolated from the grid, or DG also disconnected from the grid, or at that time fast acting load management scheme and reverse synchronization scheme required along. And due to that grid islanding scheme, means due to that we can island our system with the grid, and to ensure DGs properly operates after an isolating occur, means once such fluctuations, once we disconnect our system from the such disturbances, we need to check our DG is properly working or not, because DG is only a way to bring our system again in the synchronism. So this is the ideal, we can say, restoration of the grid. So how this restoration of the grid we can perform? So restoration means we are reconnecting the system with the help of DG. So whenever this whole process means we perform this whole process, this is the last step that we need to check our DG properly, it is operating or not after the isolation. Now this islanding scheme has certain advantages and disadvantages. So first of all, we'll check the advantages are the improve the reliability. So whenever we disconnect our system or faulty part from the grid, um, reliability of the system will increase, because if we not perform the islanding, that faulty current continuously traveling through the line, keeps continuously traveling through the line, and that can permanently damage the line as well as the utilities which are connected to that system. So this is the most important advantage. Now it reduce the outage cost again. So if the large current fluctuate, if the fluctuation is large, so the intensity of the current is also large, so that high intensity currents can damage the utilities which are connected to the system, and also it can permanently harm the entire system. Now increase the revenue of the DG owner. So whenever the islanding, we perform the islanding, we need to connect our system with the grid. So at that time, if the if the generating station has no DG, means it's no its DG is not present, or they doesn't have the DG, so DG owner of that particular area uh, will uh, will provide the service of DG to the generating stations, and so that due to that, revenue of the DG owners will also increase due to this phenomena. Now, disadvantages of the system: so it can dangerous for the utility workers, because grid still remains energized after the islanding scheme, and the person who may not realize that a circuit is still powered, so it may prevent automatic reconnection of the device. So or due to this automatic reconnection, we cannot take chance, and grid is still energized, so that can be harm the workers, means who are working with that system. Now, the equipment or device may fail due to the unsuitable quality of the power, means if large fluctuation is there, if large fluctuations occur in the transmission line, so the devices or equipment which are connected, they are not designed for the large disturbances. If the islanding is not happen, means we are not performing the islanding at that time, we need to protect our equipment and devices, because the devices which are connected with the system, they are not created for the large power fluctuations, and it is complicated operation, means for that a trained person is required for the islanding and reconnection of the grid, reconnection of the local area with the grid. And DG may be damaged in the case of inappropriate operation, means if a person is not knowing the operation of DG at the premises, means at the faulty premises, so DG can be permanently damaged whenever the grid fluctuations occur. So this is the topic related to islanding. Now, the next topic is the load dispatch center. Now, generally, load dispatch center provides the coordination between the power generating station and means other sub power generating stations. So LDC basically coordinates the different power plants in power system, and this coordination is very necessary or very useful to provide uninterrupted power to the consumer. Now, it is necessary to coordinate among the power stations for the best possible economic operation, means LDC supervise the contingency of the power, generation of the power, demand of the power, and demand for particular local area, as well as for the whole nation. Now, LDC is responsible for the optimum scheduling and dispatch of electricity, that I already explained, means if the demand of a particular area is say 1 megawatt, and generation is suppose 999 kilowatt, then LDC will send the signal to the other generating stations to fulfill the demand, and to maintain the generation and demand ratio for the particular area. Now, accordance with the contract entered with the license or generating companies operated in region, so the main functions of LDC, these are the functions which LDC performs. So LDC generally monitors grid operation, means nationally, or means India has its own LDC, National Load Dispatch Center at Delhi. Load dispense center continuously, matlab means throughout the day monitors the grid operation, and it keeps the accounts, means whatever the power transfer and whatever the power borrowed from the other generating station and some transmission companies. Also load forecasting or demand estimation also means supervised by the LDC, because if load forecasting is means load forecasting for particular area is not done proper, then we cannot immediately solve the heavy power from the generating station. So LDC observe the load for means load generation demand ratio as well as the load forecasting and demand estimation throughout the day, throughout the month, and throughout the year. Now energy distribution and load pattern studies generally means checked by the LDC, because if there if we have the seven generating stations which are connected if with the interconnected power system, so generating station is not knowing that what what are the demand of either generating stations. So LDC will inform the generating station which has the excess power, and give the command signal to transfer that excess power at the needy area. So generally energy distribution and load pattern study basically studied by the LDC. Then supervision and control over the interstate transmission system. So national grid or national load dispatch center supervise the activity of the interstate transmission system and local area. Now this all can be performed with the help of SCADA system, and SCADA management is very safe, and we can supervise whole contingency and means power generation and demand, and whatever the contingency occur will examine from one station with the help of a SCADA, means from the remote area with the help of SCADA. Now an LDC is responsible for carrying the real-time operation of the regional grid with proper standards and code. So LDC should maintain all the criteria or fulfills all the criteria which are related to the grid transmission, and LDC also provides gives the supervision and control over the inter regional links, ensuring for the stability, means this stability word is related with the generation and power demand. If the generation is less and demand will become increase, so that system is not called stable. So we need to stabilize that system with the help of providing the power which the power, or we can say load demand of that particular generating station. Now this is the grid arrangement, means first of all the national load dispatch center, means it is the main headquarter of the load dispatch center. Then after regional load dispatch center, then state dispatch center, then area load dispatch center, and remote terminal unit. This is the flow chart of means authorities, means this NLDC is having the main priority, means it is observe or supervise the whole country from the power contingency and generation and power demand, sorry, load demand. And then after the regional load dispatch center, state load dispatch center, and area load dispatch center will examine the generation and transmission and demand ratio. Now this is NLDC Delhi. NLDC Delhi is connected with NRLDC Delhi, then ERLDC Kolkata, then WRLDC Mumbai, Bangalore, and Shillong. Now we are connected with the Mumbai. So Mumbai is connected with Chhattisgarh, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, and Goa. In Gujarat we have the load dispatch center in the Gotri, and Jodhpur, Jambua, and Gandhinagar. So these are the RTUs. RTUs means remote remote terminal units. Now this NRLDC means this is northern, then eastern, western and southern, and then this is northern eastern regional load dispatch center. So these are the load dispatch center, and our Gujarat load dispatch center is associated with western region load dispatch center. So again it is classified by this way: Chhattisgarh, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh and Goa. And in Gujarat we have the Jaipur, Jambua and Gandhinagar. These are the remote terminal units, and now the responsibilities of all the load dispatch centers are same, but they have the authority from the bottom to top. Means the activities of RTUs will examined by the this Jaipur, Jammu and Gandhinagar regional load dispatch center. And this regional load dispatch centers activity will examined by the national load dispatch center. So all are performing the same activities, but means this top is has the higher authority, and this will examine the contingency or load generation demand of whole country. And then after this will examine the regional means regional area of the particular country, a particular part of the country, and then the state area, and then after a local district area. Now the functions of national load dispatch center. So generally the functions are the supervision over RLDC, means examine the activities of regional load dispatch center, then scheduling and dispatch of the electricity, means load forecasting and all the scheduling will performed by the NLDC, and will give the command to the RLDC over inter-regional links, means with the help of SCADA and other means communication methods, and provides the important data related to the grid contingency analysis. Now coordination with the regional it provides the coordination with the regional load dispatch center for achieving the maximum efficiency, because if the generation and load demand maintained by the generating station, then we can improve the efficiency and economy of that particular generating area or generating station. Now monitoring and operation of the grid security of national grid, means it provides the security or due to the supervision or command on the regional load dispatch center. This NLDC provides the grid security to the to our country, the whole nation, and supervision and control over inter-regional links also, for ensuring that stability and control of the system. Also it coordinates with the regional power committees, means due to the constant coordination we can save the means we can transfer the excess power to the needy places or needy area of the nation, and we can maintain the generation and demand ratio, and we can improve the stability and efficiency of the system. Now also it provides coordination with the RLDC for the exchange of the power, also coordination for the restoration, means and if any fault occurs and it requires to restore, so it provides the coordination for the restoration and operation of the of national grid with the regional load dispatch center. Also dissemination of information of relating for to the operation of the transmission system, means all the operation related to the transmission system provided by the NLDC for the subsequent LDCs, and also directions or regulations issued by the central government from time to time with the help of NLDC to maintain the grid stability and reliability. Now the functions of RLDC, means regional load dispatch center, functions are same, but it has its own authority. Now the main responsibility of RLDCs are: the first responsibility is monitoring of the system parameters, same as the LDC, Also, to ensure the integrated and operation of the power system grid, irrespective respective region, for particular respective region, it provides the integrated operation for the stability and generation demand ratio. Now, system studies performed by the RLDC, and it provides planning and contingency analysis. Contingency means transferring of the power. Now, daily scheduling and operational planning means daily scheduling also performed by the RLDC, and other operational plannings also can be also done by the RLDC. Also, facilitating the bilateral and inter-regional exchanges means exchange of the power and exchange of the communication and exchange of the particular information from the other generating stations and other load dispatch center. Also provides augmentation of the telemetry, also computing and communication facilities, all the facilities which are available at the RLDC. Now, after RLDC, we have the state load dispatch center. So these are the functions of state load dispatch center. These are the functions which are same as the RLDC: optimum scheduling providing by the SLDC, monitoring of the grid, then keeping accounts of the quantum and electricity transmitted to the grid. Means whatever the power transfer, they keep the data of the power transferred throughout the day. Then exercising the supervision and over the intrastate transmission system, also carrying out the real-time operations uh, for the grid control and dispatch of the electricity within the state through the secure and economic operation of the state grid in accordance with the grid standard and the grid code. Means they maintain the all the standards while transferring the power from for transfer the power for the means in the interconnected power system. Now, SLDC, state load dispatch center, shall keep accounts of the quantity of electricity transmitted to the state grid. Now, the functions of RTU. So the main responsibility of the RTUs are: first is measuring power, means active and reactive, and then trips feeder based on the command from ALDC, means whatever the ALDC command give commands to the RTU according to the tripping of the feeders functioning by the uh, RTU. Now, for the state load dispatch center, means in the Gujarat, it is situated 132 kV at the Gotri substation, Vadodara, and SLDC remains in contact with the GUVNL. It is the trading company. GSECL is the generating company. We will see this in the block diagram in the next slide. Generally, SCADA is used at SLDC Gotri, means at the state load dispatch center Gotri. SCADA is the supervised control and data acquisition system. So we can collect and we can transfer data from the one station, means from Gotri to the NLDC, means National Load Dispatch Center, and other regional load dispatch centers also. Uh, this data can be provided provide we can provide this data with means we can provide this data online, means no need to give the hard copy and soft copies of this data. We just transfer this data with the help of internet connection, means all the systems are connected with the SCADA, and on big screen we can see the contingency of all the LDCs. Now, this is the structure of power sector in Gujarat. So first is regulational committee, that is Gujarat Electricity Regulatory Commission, GERC. Then generation is GSECL. Then transmission is JETCO. And then distribution system we have UGVCL, DGVCL, MGVCL, and PGVCL. So these are the power sectors in Gujarat. Now, this is the power generation install capacity scenario in India till 31st March 2020. So this is the recent scenario of the install capacity. Means this black portion indicates that still we are depending on the fossil fuel based power plants. So this is the coal. It is it has the capacity, say 2,05,134.5 megawatt, means around 55.4% power is uh, transmitted by the coal based power plants. Then large hydro plants, then small hydro plants, solar plants, biomass, nuclear, gas and diesel. So these are the recent installed capacity scenario of the India. Sorry. Now these are the assignment questions related to the topic. The questions are: what do you mean by the islanding? Also explain the necessity of islanding. State the advantages and disadvantages of the islanding. Explain the ideal procedure of restoration of the grid. Also analyze the main functions of LDC, NLDC, RLDC and SLDC. The instructions related to the assignment is written below the assignment question. Please read it carefully. You can take the snap of this. If you have any query and doubt related to this topic, feel free to call me, and you can WhatsApp me, and you can directly contact me. Also you can solve your doubt in our doubt solving session. Thank you student, thank you very much. Jai Swaminarayan.